What is a site supervisor? I've been doing a series of videos so that anytime you type this question in, we can get you the right information. So these videos that might have similar titles will link to other videos about the same topic. So please check out the description below. In this video, I want to specifically talk to you about where the site supervisor fits in the org chart and really talk about what projects might need a site supervisor and if it's a horizontal step. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. If you want something a little bit different, please check out the other videos that we're going to link you to that talk about the site supervisor topic. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm super excited. Now, like I say in all the videos, please communicate with me in the chat. I don't have somebody doing it for me, and which means that I'm not always do the best job. If I like your comment that you give me, that means it's like, I love that comment, you're awesome. If you've asked me a question and I respond, that's me. And so if you're like, Jason, do better, that's super fine. I'll hit it again, but I go through all of them. It does take quite a bit of time, but I'm the one answering. So please reach out to me in the comments below. So we've got some more questions about this site supervisor topic that I'm really excited to talk to you about. And it's specifically in relation to the type of projects, where it fits in the hierarchy, and this is all new stuff, so I'm really excited for you. Let's do it right now. So site supervisor, to me, when I hear the term site supervisor, that's anywhere from a lead person, foreman, all the way up to superintendent PM. If you are talking about in Europe specifically, or in other parts of the world, they use the term typically site manager, and that can mean super or PM or a hybrid of the two. But what I'm looking at here is the concept of somebody on site going from labor, skilled craft, these are my heroes, but going into a supervisory position. But here are 4 questions that we got that are really interesting that I'll answer right now. The first question is, how is a site supervisor different than a foreman or a site manager? Okay, I know for a fact that site manager around the world means PM or super or a hybrid role. They're in control of the project. Site supervisor, again, can be anywhere from lead to foreman all the way up to PM and superintendent. So you've got to understand what your title means. Now, how does it differ from foreman? I actually like, if you are a site supervisor, you can call a foreman a site supervisor. You can call a general foreman that works for the general contractor that oversees the site a site supervisor. And you can call a field engineer a site supervisor. You're all in supervisory positions. But I love being specific, and this will tie into some of the other questions. A foreman or crew leader, by the way, let me just pause there for just a second. I would rather start to call foremen crew leaders. Whether you're into it or not, and I'm not going to judge either way. I'm neutral on this topic. Our language will be more inclusive as we move into the future. You know, foreman will be crew leader, manhole will be access hole. Like there will be like a shift in terms, whether you call it foreman or crew leader. And like I said, I'm neutral. There's no reason to get mad at me. I'm just telling you where we're going. And so all of our books, like even the title, Elevating Construction Foreman, I have that on the cover, but then on the inside of the book, every other reference is crew leader. So whether it's foreman or crew leader, I like that because it specifically talks to the fact that they're leading a crew. And that foreman has very specific responsibilities, like I've talked about before. A field engineer, I'd rather that not be called site supervisor, and I'd rather it be called field engineer because it's very specific that they do layout, control, lift drawings, and frontline quality and safety management. And then let's get to the GC craft overseeing of the site, like a logistics or a general foreman. Site supervisor, I don't mind that term. That's pretty specific. And that leads me to one of the other questions that I'll talk to you about right now. Is a site supervisor role a sidestep or a promotion, or what is it? And I would say it is a promotion that is a little bit off to the side, and it will work for you as long as you don't get stuck. Like, don't get stuck there and just do that and not try and volunteer out of it if you want to go out of it. If you want to stay there and do that, whether it's a general foreman responsibility or literally being in charge of logistics on the site, it is a step up because you're doing more supervising. But if you want to keep growing, you're going to have to volunteer for more and more things. What type of projects need a site supervisor? On most projects, it's super, PM, field engineer, project engineer, or office engineer. Office engineer is mainly like for companies like Hensel Phelps. And then you have the general foreman and foreman. Like that's usually the organization. But every project needs logistical oversight from the craft side. Like, I will never build a job where I don't have a lead carpenter that's in charge of logistics. I have in the past called them a logistics foreman. A site supervisor is probably a better term. Oh, let me give you a good example. When I first came to Arizona, in today's dollars, it's probably $280, $300 million project, which doesn't sound huge, but these were corn shell buildings and the site was huge. And so we had to have dedicated site support, and they literally managed logistics, the water truck, they had their own pumps, the trailers, the hoist, the forklift, the cranes, making sure the cranes were safe. And they even had a procurement specialist that would order things like safety glasses and safety gear, and you had everything. I thought it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. But like, you had a site supervisor because the site was massive. So you really need a site supervisor when you have the need for that kind of geographical or spatial control. And the last question, where does this fit in the org chart? Well, it really depends on the company using the title. But typically, if you have foreman and then this is superintendent, typically the site supervisor, on average, not every situation, is the general foreman type position in control of the site and logistics beneath the super, but in control in certain aspects of the foreman's work. I love these questions. Keep them coming. I'm going to link you to some of the other videos and turn this little one into a blog post for you so you can reference it. And if you need anything, let me know. We're here to serve. I love you all. On we go.